welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session, we're going to be covering what's new in digital workplace. So this will be 25.4, Smarter Agents, Better Experiences. I'm delighted to welcome back Karl-Anders Folk, or Kaf for short, and Deepak Rudra, both of our product managers, principals, working in different regions. So you get two for the price of one. I'm really excited. There's a lot that we're going to be covering together. So just a quick reminder, there is the Q&A section of Zoom. So if you do have any questions during this session, you will remain muted until that time. So if you've got any audio issues or anything you want to ask, please put it into the Q&A section, and we will have roughly around 15 minutes or so at the end where we'll take some of your questions live. But in the interim, we will try to answer them as we go along today. And we've also got a wonderful demo. The other thing is just a reminder that this legal notice we're sharing up right now, obviously, this is roadmap. Majority of what we're going to be sharing today has been released, but there is always that caveat that not everything always makes it into the next version. So do be mindful of that. So without further ado, I don't want to take up any more time. Kaf, I'm going to hand over to you to get us started and talk through the agenda.
Yes, it's really exciting to be back with a new release. Deepak and I have been working with our excellent development team to create some new functionality that we want to share with you. And we are focusing on DWP and the employee experience. We are not really talking about the people that are providing support to the employees. So be just mindful of that when we talk about this. We're talking about an employee that need help and that we try to support with the questions, with the services and the things they need to do their job in a good way. So when we look at 25.4, which we released about 1.5 weeks ago only, so it's a two, what is it? Yeah, 1.5 weeks ago. So it is having a number of things we wanted to cover today. We have, as you know, had Helix GPT powering Employee Navigator for quite some time, and technology evolves very fast. So in this release, we are ready to say it's completely agentic. All the things are agentic behind the scene. So I'll share some of that with you. And we have also added a couple of access points. Before it was the HVA UI that we have there still, but it was based on old technology. So we have Employee Navigator in digital workplace. Now we have a first MS Teams based version, which is using the Agentic AI and the capabilities of Employee Navigator. And we also have a chat panel that you can embed in any web page. I'll show you that as well. So that's what's about the Employee Navigator. And then Deepak will cover a little bit about service level management and survey dashboards. So I'll talk through these features, and then I have recorded a few videos. I did prefer that approach today, actually. So the first thing which a lot of customers have been asking for is the welcome message or startup page when you log into Employee Navigator and you start a new topic. You will get the message which is going to help the user understand what it can do, and you can also give them a few buttons which contains predefined prompts, which is also helping the users know what they can do and get them started. And it's also good that we have a kind of predefined prompt, because then you know that it's going to actually give the response that the user wants. Because otherwise, if you let users say anything, they might not have the right wording to get the right answer. But all this is possible to define per skill. So if you have different bots or different agents behind the scene on different studio pages in DWP, you can have different welcome messages for each of these different agents. So that is the first thing. And you can see here, you can put, actually, I put some red stuff here. It's using HTML coding. So the size of the text has got the HTML tag here. And the color is also coming from that HTML tag. And then underneath you have possibility to add buttons here. And then you define what prompt is being sent to Employee Navigator when you click that button. So that's how it works. The previous release in 25.2, 25.3, we released Agentic AI in Employee Navigator. Actually, even in 25.1, I would say, but that was a beta version. So now we have not just one agent, but in this release, you have 3 agents, and they collaborate with each other. And there is one supervisor that you talk to, and if it needs help, it is going to delegate to one of the other agents. And one of them is managing the catalog, and the other one is managing live chat handover. The supervisor has got the knowledge tool and the things you're used to before, but they now have 2 colleagues that are working with the supervisor to provide the service to you. And the service catalog creator agent is eliminating the need to publish catalog items. The agent is doing that for you. So when you look for a service or a catalog item, that agent will look in the catalog, and all the catalog items that are published can be used by the chat user without any other changes than just use the catalog item. And then it will, if you want, you can either click on the link and it takes you to the form, or you can start walking through the questions in the chat. That's up to you as a user. It's quite intelligent, that agent. It has got some other capabilities. Disambiguation, that means if you ask a very unclear question, it will actually ask you follow-up questions automatically. And if you type a long sentence with a lot of things in it, answers to questions, I would say, entities, it will pick those up and it will pre-fill the questions. So you don't really need to type it again or answer that question again. And another thing you can do, if you're middle of answering questions, you can digress, talk about something completely different, and then you can return to responding to the questionnaire. So a lot of interesting capabilities in this new supervisor agent and the swarm of agents. You will see new agents coming out over time. Right now it's 3, and very soon you're going to have a 4th one. So that's interesting. The live chat handover. When you speak to Employee Navigator, it will try to identify the intent. And if you express that you're frustrated or that you're not happy and angry or whatever, it will do a sentiment analysis. And if it is urgent, it feels now this person needs help in a much quicker way, or you couldn't find the knowledge answers or whatever, it will offer you the fallback options of live agent, if you have live agent in place, which is a human. So if you get tired of talking to the AI agent, you can always also get access to a human person behind the scene, if you support that, of course. The other option is that you create a generic request. If it didn't find order iPhone, or if you didn't find order a car or whatever in the system, you can use a generic request, and that is going to be sent to the back end and needs to be then handled by the service desk agent manually, because it doesn't have any additional questions. It's just a catch-all thing if you don't find anything else. So that is the live chat handover. Team support, it is the first agentic version, and it looks a little bit different in Teams and behaves a little bit different in Teams. In Employee Navigator in DWP, we have full control over the UI and the widgets and how things work because it's our product. When we go to Teams, it is different. It has different capabilities, and therefore we have had to do things a little bit differently. There are some limitations that we hope we can overcome over time together with Microsoft. But right now it's a little bit less functional. But you can do the basic things. You can chat about knowledge, you can raise requests, you can check requests and all that. So I'll show you a little bit of that also in my demo. One little thing which has been a lot of ask from people is this copy button. I mean, you could, or even before, mark it and copy it, Control C or whatever, and then you could paste it in a mail or in Teams or someplace. Now there is a little button that is taking the text in the bubble, and you can place it in any other tool that you want to copy to. So that is just a small thing. The embeddable chat panel, if you want to do things outside of DWP on any web page, there has been a lot of ask for this, that you can actually publish Employee Navigator elsewhere. And therefore we have created a panel, a chat panel that is an iframe that you can embed in any HTML page you have access to. And it comes with a floating icon and a window or chat panel. And both of them you can actually drag around and move around so it doesn't come in the way of something on the page. So pretty good starting point for doing that. It can do almost all the things you can do in Employee Navigator in DWP. We still, as it is the first release, we still wanted to keep it in a controlled availability. So if you want to use this, if you want to test it, welcome. But I suggest you plan to wait until next release before you put it into production. In Dev and QA, you can use it, but you need to talk to us so we know that you're working with it and can give you the help if we run into issues. So that's the things. Another very interesting thing, I'm not going to show you that, but in the Agent Studio, we have added a number of capabilities. The UI has changed a little bit. You see there is this side panel instead, and you have a summary of the agent. When you click on that red one, you get the instructions or the prompt that the agent is using, telling it how to use the tools, telling it how to behave when it talks to you. The next one is the tools, which tools are available. And you can see the knowledge tool here, which is looking at knowledge in our knowledge bases. And then we have sub-agents, the fleet of agents that support the supervisor agent. So pretty nice new thing. And this will build out even more in upcoming releases, not for the end user, but for the person that is managing, that is building agents, that are building tools, and a good toolbox for creating your own stuff. And before you had to manually author the instructions, Now we have added AI capabilities. So if you start out with something, you have two buttons down here. One is called the evaluate, and that one is looking at what you have in here. And then it's giving you a rating on a number of things like security, clarity, and so on. So you will get a star rating and some recommendations what you should do. Very nice feature to improve the agent and get help. You don't really need to be a prompt engineer. Your LLM will be your prompt engineer for you, and who can better build prompts than the LLMs themselves. And you can also start from the beginning. Then you give it some hints or goals, what you want it to do, and then it will generate an agent for you. So it can both evaluate an existing instruction and it can generate a new one. So pretty cool thing. Go and build your own agents for your own business processes. That's kind of our vision, that you, together with us, together with Helix GPT, build out your own agents in the future. Another thing in here, when you have built your own agents, you need to test them, and you need to keep them behaving similarly, so you can build up test cases. You can combine them into test runs or test sets, and then you can run them. I mean, if you change to another model, if you change your prompt, if you add a new tool, you really want to have a consistent user experience. And for that, you need to do testing. And this is a first release of our automatic testing tool. So you essentially define a number of tests behaving like a user. I mean, it's asking questions and it's checking, using the LLM to check the answer if it is within range that you have set. And that you can run as many times as you like, and then you get the log of what did we get out of each run, and there is a rating on the run, so you can see how good it was. Then you can drill down and see what the rating was based on. So pretty cool tool in the studio as well, which is helping you build out your agents and making your employees more productive. Okay, I normally prefer doing live demos. Today I have actually recorded because I wanted to be very specific about what I demoed today. So the first one is showing you a little bit about this conversational capability of our supervisor agent and how it interacts with the end user. So let me see if I can get it to start from the beginning. So you see we have the side panel, and now you see the welcome message up there. Let me stop there. If you look here at this string, it's saying I need to place an order for office interior, include a chair, and I misspelled it. Not on purpose, because I'm crappy on typing. But it is working anyhow. For the reception from IKEA, and deliver it on the latest end of next month. So this is a prompt containing both the instruction what I want, and it's containing facts that will fill in the questionnaire. It's probably the most efficient way of requesting something. So now you'll see what happens. It is responding and saying, I'm working for you, and then it's found, it went out and looked in the catalog, it found something called Office Interior 100. And then I say, do you want to walk through that one? Yes. And did it walk it through? No, it didn't have to, because it could pick up the answers. I said for the reception, I said I wanted a share. I misspelled it, but it understood it anyhow. it put the date on there, and it's saying IKEA. So very quick way to request things. And I think here is the power of chat, really, and a good agent behind the scene that can pick things up from the conversation. So now let's try another thing. We'll use the same question, but we'll remove the details so it doesn't know what I really want. And now we have a couple of different options, and this is important and a very interesting thing. If you click on that link, you will get to the form. So the user, if they prefer filling in a form, they can do that. So here they select an area, conference room, and you have a number of pre-filled questions. It's pretty good at using the logic in the questionnaire. Or you can ask it to walk through the questions. So I say yes here, and that means I want to walk through the questionnaire. And now it's going to start asking me those questions. So you see, you get the drop down that you select from, exactly like here. It's giving you the description and the question here. And it's asking for a room partition thing, the date. This is text field. It could be a date picker, but I didn't do it that way. So it's going to pick this text. And then the brand at the end. And now we have all the same questions answered, but step by step. And in the first release, the first scenario, I actually answered all questions automatically. And now I'm changing one of the questions. I need it on Monday. So it's going to change that into a date now. Look at that. So it is pretty intelligent in terms of how it interprets what I'm saying. Okay. So I think that was the end of this demo. Let's move to the next one. I said there is a Teams version of this, and you can see here that we have I've asked show requests. So it's going to show the open requests, and in the Employee Navigator UI in DWP, you actually get a table, and you get the links in the table and so on. It's a more condensed version, but here we couldn't really get that to work because these links are not working in Teams. So therefore we created a bulleted list. So just one example of how it differs in there. We now have thumbs up, thumbs down, which we didn't have before. So that is also an improvement. And now I'm using similar thing. I need help with stuff in the reception. And you see it's asking follow-up questions. It didn't really know what I mean by stuff. And then it's going through those same questions. And you see here it looks a little bit different. You get small buttons, and you can either press the button or you can type something. And I've typed storage. And you recognize the same use case, but in Teams now. Okay, I don't think I need to keep this one going more. I'll move over to the next one because time is running fast here. This one is the embedded chat panel. You see, this is a HTML page, any HTML page that you can have. And we have this floating icon. You can change the icon, but this is the one we ship. And when you have it there, you can take the mouse and you can move it around as you like. You see, if it is in the way of something, you can move it out. And if you reset, it's going back to a default position. So it's in that corner when you start it. And then the first thing that happens, if you're not already logged in to Helix, it will allow you to log in using Helix single sign-on. But if you're already logged in the browser from some other BMC product, it will not require you to authenticate again. And you can recognize the welcome screen, you can click the buttons, and it's now going to look like in Digital Workplace more than Teams did. So you're going to get the table with the links here. So pretty nice. And you can scroll. And you can see there, we've used collaboration. So when you create requests, everybody that is in the same company or in that collaboration group can see each other tickets. So that's just the basic DWP functionality, but maybe quite interesting when you have a thing like this. And you can, of course, look up knowledge like in Employee Navigator. You can click on the link and it then launches into DWP, and because you already logged in, it doesn't ask for any new authentication and so on. And you can, my mobile is not working, it's going to ask you what you want to do because you didn't ask it anything. It doesn't understand your intent, so therefore it's asking. I think you get this. It's how it's working. So now it's going to try to look for knowledge, and because I don't think I have any knowledge article for this, I still need help. Then it's going to do this fallback, and then you can select if you want to raise a generic request, which is just asking simple questions, or if you want to do live chat. I didn't really have time to demo the live chat. I think I need to hand over to Deepak now, but I just wanted to show you this one. It's a generic request you can have there when the fallback is happening, and it's asking you to describe what you want, and it's also offering you to attach files, and I set it up to 10. Let's say you have a problem and you want to attach screenshots of the problem. You can do that here, and you recognize this summary and before you submit it. And once it's submitted, it will give you the number of the ticket, and you can, of course, click on that link, or you can ask it to show details. You can ask it to add the comments, and when you do add a comment, again, you get the chance to add attachments. So like that, I'll stop there, and I see a lot of questions coming in. I hope you got answers to most of them, but now I'll hand over to Deepak so he gets time to show his stuff as well. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Kaf, for great demo. There's one question that is remaining. Maybe you can answer that. I'll just start sharing my screen.
I'll turn off the camera because now I'm going to look on the side. It looks that I'm not interested in you.
Yes, you can see my screen, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, the slides, is that right? Okay, all right. I see a thumbs up. So we'll be talking about the enhancements in digital workplace in this release, and you are looking at one of the major enhancements that we have done around the integration with the SLM engine. Now it's no more a static service level targets that you really see on the catalog items. It will be driven through the service level management engine that we integrated from with Helix platform. So it's not your ITSM SLM engine. It's going to be SLM engine on Innovation Suite. It's a IS based application. If you're already using business workflows, this is the same engine that is now centralized, and you have the data source that is already made available. And then you can integrate. You can define your own business rules, time segment entities. You can have different service level targets defined. You can have milestones defined, notification action, whatever you could really do in the ITSM world, you will be able to do it on the DWP request. And we'll actually deep dive into the functionality as we move forward. So your users will see service level expected by date on their requests, and once it is past due, they will be able to see that it is past due. And also your agents. In this release, we were not able to do it on the Smart IT console, but if your agents are looking at the DWP request console, they will be able to see the SLM data, and we'll be able to see exact milestones and how much is breached, what is the next expected due date, and all of that really. So all of that insight will be made available in the DWP catalog request. We are working right now with ITSM to make this enable into Smart IT also, and in the share ticket console as well. So you'll have to wait a little bit for that, but it will be made available soon. Then the next thing that we have is Net Promoter Score, NPS scoring for CSAT. Additionally, that I have not highlighted here, we are also giving you capability to change the labels of the 5-point scale rating that you already have today. So the rating that you have smileys and you have the stars, 5 stars, we have not provided capability to change those icons because there are many reasons you could really end up with very distorted images and all. But what we have really given you now the capability to switch your system from 5-point rating to NPS. It will be a hard switch. So the moment you take a call that I need to switch my system from CSAT to NPS, you will have to change the setting, and it will reflect in all your surveys, including your default survey and the custom surveys, right? You cannot run system into both the modes. So this is not possible that you will have some of your services sending 5-point scale surveys and some of them sending the 10-point scale. So that's a hard cut that you will have to do. You can always switch it back if you don't want it. We are not restricting that. You cannot go back. You can go back from NPS to 5-point scale. Your older data that remains in your system will still remain with 5-point scale. So on the DWP request report, on the satisfaction reports, you will see both the data. So let's say from a previous quarter after switching, from previous quarter, you had everything that is 5-point scale CSAT. You will continue to see all the CSAT data. And for anything new that is submitted after that and a survey is triggered after you switch will be sent into the Net Promoter Score NPS scale. It is 0 to 10. So that means it's a 11-point scale. It's industry standard. It's not 1 to 10. It's 0 to 10. So 11 points. There is something called as whoever you guys, I'm pretty sure you follow this, you know what are promoters, what are detractors, and what are passives. So it's going to measure according to that, according to the rating that you give. And again, you have capability to automatically change the labels here. What you see, not at all likely and likely. I will show you all these examples. And then it will basically pick up your brand color. Whatever brand color you set, these numbers will be taking care of, automatically taking color of that. We have not given you any other capability right now at the moment to change this because we had tried to keep it very standard. We had design partners and we spoke to a lot of those design partners. So this was really desirable that they stick to the industry standard. So that's what you can expect. We are giving a free dashboard that's gonna, if you are using a Helix dashboard, you automatically gonna get an out of the box dashboard for Net Promoter Score NPS. So you already have one that is for CSAT, and I will show you both, and you automatically get a Net Promoter Score dashboard as well, where you will be able to see the breakdown of NPS ratings, only NPS ratings. So you will have two separate reports in Helix dashboard, one for CSAT that is already existing in your current version, and another one that you will be able to see the Net Promoter Score and the exact breakdown. All right. Now we'll quickly jump into the demo, and I will show you all the functionalities related to the service targets. So before we do that, let's jump into the configurations, right? So in Innovation Suite, you will have to log in as an Innovation Suite administrator, right? And then under administration, you will have something called as the service level management. Under service level management, you will have pre-seeded data source that is going to be called as DWP Digital Workplace Catalog. There is document available if you want to edit it, if you want to modify, you want to bring in your own source, you want to do something different, you can do that. But right now we are seeding it with out of the box with DWP Catalog, and it's going to be your record definition that it's going to be relying on. It's going to be service request record definition where all your service requests are stored. Okay, we are giving you three goal types predefined. So logically, anybody who uses digital workplace have three steps. There may be more steps. For that, you can create your own goal types. But first is approval time. How much time does it take for you to approve something? If it is due approval and it's overdue approval, then who do you notify? That can be done through this goal type. Request process time is when your request goes from approval into in progress. So approved to in progress till completed, you can define using this goal. And then service request total time is overall measurement of the time of when the service request was submitted. It took multiple steps, which includes approval, which includes fulfillment and everything, right? All the interaction between the agent and the end user. You can define it through the total time. Okay. This is just a best practice we are giving you. You can define conditions according to yourself. Really, we are not dictating what your conditions are, but we are telling you, hey, if you have to do it, segregate into these levels. The next example that comes up that, and I have taken an example. Really, I have not, in the interest of time, I cannot deep dive into all use cases that you can just test out. You all are so matured from the SLM perspective, but what I have done here is, if you look at, I have P2 and P3 priority requests, which are actually creating incidents. So I have put two service targets here. I have defined service target. I have defined the data source. That is my data source that I defined you in the beginning. The company, I'm tagging it to global. Status, you can enable, disable it from here. These are all similar things, but the goal type is very important. So here I am really not going by the approval time and all other that. I am saying that I need overall total time. So I'm just putting a goal type of overall total time. In your company, in your organization, you can have different use cases. You can just define a single target for approval, single target, different target for processing when it comes out of approval and then goes into fulfillment state, and another target for overall. So all of those service targets will be attached in your request. So you can define terms and condition. I have a generic workflow that I use for fix or repair. So I'm saying anything that is fix or repair in my organization is actually an incident. So and in terms and condition, I'm saying when the process is used fix or repair and priority is high, use this really. And then this is my goal type. You have business time segment and entities that you can define, like, is your service desk working 24/7? Is your service desk really working like 24/5? And then there are national holidays, so you can just control that and start SLAs based on that automatically. Exactly same thing what any typical service level management would do. Then you have measurements that you can define warnings at what time you can have reopen reopen of the service targets. When do you want to send the warning alerts? At what condition should you send the warning alert? So here I am stopping the warning alerts when it is in pending, whereas when it is not closed, and it starts when it is not closed. So basically anytime it starts, basically it starts then and stops when it is completed. So all of that you can really do here. You have entire all the fields from my ITSB service request form available here, okay, that you can use. So you can set any field. You have flex fields also that are available. If you want to customize something, you can send that data over, and then based on that, you can just trigger the SLA. So every field that is available on service request form, you can use to really create your complex conditions. And then I have milestones. So I have a 25% milestone, I have a 50% milestone, I have a 99% milestone. And as normally what you would do, you can have milestones, you can have condition for executing those milestones, and then you have actions that you would like to take. So in this case, I mean, I can set a field, I can also alert and send an email. I have decided to send an email. So I'm sending an email. You can again use any fields for email address. Here I just send it to myself just to show it to you that it is done. And then you can pick up a template. So I have three templates right now that I created manually. We are not seeding any data at the moment. You will have to create these templates yourself. So I created three templates: 25%, 50%, and 100% SLA breach. Okay. So I have these available. So this is all configured, looks good. Now, um, you all know that the service targets only show up when you have service request submitted. But you would like to tell your users upfront that typically it takes 1 day to fix this kind of problem, right? So what you can do, so before I jump into that, so in digital workplace catalog, you will see service level agreement setting. There you have two new settings. One is called the legacy SLM, which was very static, never used to give any information to the end users about. You can switch to the Helix platform SLM, and then here you will have to choose a connector that connects to your Innovation Suite platform. Okay, nothing but what you already use. You just got to select that connector because it needs that connector. Once you make that change, the new SLM engine comes into picture, existence automatically. Okay. Um, there is a poller that is set in the background. I can show it to you guys. You can go into digital workplace catalog. Let's see. Yeah, background jobs. And then you have SLM status poller, a new setting introduced here. Okay. This will be default inactive because we don't want suddenly SLM engine to start in your system. So you have to start this, you have to make it active. This is the interval in which the poller will run and will update all your expected due dates and all of that. You can reduce it. Our best, we recommend that just keep it 1 minute. Do not go below 1 minute because it's going to overburden your system. So we just kept it 60 seconds, right? So this is a configuration that you will have to do. You will find all of this in the documentation. I just thought of letting you guys know. But now let's say SLM engine is on, service level targets are defined. Okay, you are good to go, but you would like to give your end users an early preview of how much time it takes. So for a high request, I know I can just fix it for you in 1 day. I can just say in 1 day I can fix it, and I decide to show it to the requesters, and I save it, I approve and publish the service. You can do it per service basis as I'm just showing you, right? So now if you go to the fix and repair service, you would see your users will say typically takes 1 day. When they request, it also shows typically takes 1 day. Okay, they can expect that it can be done in 1 day because the service request is not submitted. The actual date is not reflected at the moment. This is just an estimate. Okay. Now let's take example of a service. Let's request it right now. I don't want to fill everything again. It is telling me expected 1 day high service, and I'm just my impact and urgency. I'm just doing something in the background. I just submitted the request. Now the new request that comes up is 209, and I can see that it is expected by October 31st, right? 1 day. And I can go back to my digital workplace catalog, and then under the reports, let's quickly go back and see 209. You have 209, and you can see that it's the incident is created, and then a new service level SLM service level target is already available, which is telling me the overall due date. The status is in progress. You have three milestones. It is telling me it's going to breach at this time. 50% is going to breach at this time, and then I have 99% which is going to breach at this time. Okay, so we'll let it breach so that I can show you how this changed. So it is showing me right now within time limit. As we cross 50%, it will show you warning, and then it will show you breached, like these examples that you can already see. Yeah, like breached, they're already breached, right? And then if it is in progress, it is going to show you in progress. So let it run, and then it's going to send me some emails. I can quickly pull up some of the emails. Before I get those emails, I can quickly go and tell you how those emails are configured. So you got to go into notification configuration. Here you have to define a notification event. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I have these events which are defined for, and events need to be linked to your service. So I have 25%. 50%, and then I have a template. So you need to define the template also. Yeah, so SLM is 25%, 50%. So all I'm doing really, I have defined what should be the body, what module it basically relates to, and then what is the template that is selected, template name, and what is a notification event, and then you have email, subject, and body. So pretty simple. If you're already using notification engine, you know how to do that. You can bring the fields. So I'm on the runtime, I'm picking up the field ID 1. Same way for body, I'm also picking up all other fields. So I'm saying 50% breached, request ID is this, and then this is request ID priority. So you can just do all of that, bring RTF, header, footer, whatever you want to do. So you're not restricted. So now, as you can see, I got for 209, I got that service target was missed. This is the information. Again, I got another one which is 50% missed because I just kept it very aggressive because I wanted to show you this information live, and it's already in the warning state. If you go in, you can already see it's breached, and again, the poller is going to run and then say it's gone because it's past its due date, right? So 100% SLA is breached in this case. Again, if you go to the incident, you pause the incident, you put it in the pending, so your service targets SLM will be stopped. If for example, I have here, if you look at service level management, I have two targets. If you change the priority of one incident from high to medium, the new service target will get attached. We can quickly take a look at that as well. But before I do that, let's take a look at something that is past due. Let's see, let's go back to an old service. Yeah, these are all active running right now. Let's quickly go back to my activity and take a look at past events. Yeah. So if your SLA date was passed, your end users will see past due. Okay. So the moment your service level target is breached and 100% breached, there your end users will have complete transparency to it. Okay. And they will also see it on the card view also that it is past due. So something to take care of. And the moment a new service target or a new target date is created, automatically it's going to get reflected here. So your end users will always have a live information of what is happening with my request. Okay. Now let's take example of a request where I'm going to reduce the priority. Okay. I'm going to submit it as high. So my P2 priority service target should get attached to it. Okay. This is 022. Sorry, request ID 20. Incident number is 022. And let's quickly go back and then change the priority for the incident. I have that synchronization. If the priority is changed on the fulfillment, then it's automatically gonna change that on the request also. You can do that. It's just a setting that you can easily do. So let's quickly take a look at the incident here. While this is loading, let's quickly take a look at the request in Digital Workplace. So you have P2 priority attached here. Now let's change the priority. So let's reduce it to impact and urgency. Let's make it medium, right? So it's going to be medium. Yeah, medium. And then we'll give it few seconds and then we'll reflect here that yeah, you can see the priorities changed. And now you can see a P3 priority service target is attached. So all of that you could do really that is relevant for your agent right now. When your agent gets on a call with an end user, or service desk gets on a call, they will have entire insight onto what is happening right now, what is the due date, how much service target, is due. Your service managers can also look at individual services. You can create dashboards also on this and can look at the data and see how much is breached, how much is available. Okay. Um, Similarly, you have filter available here that you can just quickly filter through it. And then last but not least, if you have to troubleshoot anything, it's not a DWP application. You have to remember it's called as the SLM application. Let me quickly show it to you all. SLM service, okay? And then you have all the measurement forms, archive, audit, service target, all of that, scheduler, notification scheduler, all of that can be troubleshooted here. So essentially, think about that. This is already a service in Helix platform, DWP integrated with this. Okay. So that's pretty much it really about the service level agreements. I'll try to answer your questions, or CAF will try to answer your questions once you put those in the chat. Now let's go back to the surveys. So now you have, in this release, you will start seeing something called as post request surveys. You will have new setting available here that you can select rating scale. So it's going to be 5-point scale or NPS. Okay. Before I change to NPS, let me quickly show you what are the changes that you can expect for surveys in 5-point scale. 5-point scale, the only change that we have introduced now that you can change these labels. Okay. So something like that, right? You can say disappointed. So all of that you can easily change and you can save, and that's going to be reflected to your end users once the new survey goes out. So that's one change that we have done for old scale. Now, once you switch the scale, you can say I'm going to go from 5-point to NPS. It tells you a warning that your previous CSAT survey is going to be disabled. So, and then you confirm change scale so that you're not doing it by mistake. You save it. Now, what will happen? Your scale will change to NPS, and in under the inactive surveys, your NPS version of your version of your CSAT survey is gone there. Okay, so you can bring it back once you enable 5-point scale. So the last one will be automatically picked up, and then here you have NPS scale. So what will happen? Your existing survey will be converted to NPS. So this scale will be automatically changed to NPS. Okay, and then you can change the labels of this. You can add description of this. You can say I will recommend, right, I will not recommend, something of that sort. So that's all going to be shown up here, and then you can save. So this is how it will be going to be visible to your end users. So let's quickly close. Let's quickly save this, and this is our default survey now. Let's quickly close one incident. Okay, so request number 210, let's close this and see how the new survey will look like.
Deepak, just the time note. It's 5 minutes left right now.
Yes, correct. So yeah, should be pretty quick now. So we just closed 210. Yeah, so it should have gone here. Yeah, so you'll start seeing something like this where you can just do the response. So it's gonna, the pollard gonna take like few seconds and email to get me the survey, but you will just start seeing this, that you will have capability to provide the survey response also. 210. Yeah, and you can see your NPS scale is available here, so you can just answer through the NPS scale. All right, last but not least, now the survey report will reflect both NPS and average CSAT. Okay, this is possible that you can have system that is running both. When you drill down into it, you will see rating scales that this survey was given as a detractor. So 5 rating, net promoter score. This was on the 5-point scale. This was 3 out of 5. So this rating will be made available to you here. Last functionality that we have provided is a NPS dashboard. So under your Helix dashboard, here you have CSAT survey, which was already available, should be available in your system. Average CSAT, I'm not going to go into that, all of that in the details, but this should be already available. On the similar lines, we have created a net promoter score dashboard. This tells you the aggregate NPS, gives you a breakdown of the NPS, return rate, survey response return rate, 10 highly rated services, 10 lowest rated services, and top 10 requested services and their CSAT NPS, sorry, not CSAT, the NPS score. And you can actually drill down to it. So let's take example of Petramco here. For this company, my aggregate NPS for request raised for this is -10. That is, everybody is a detractor here. And then I can easily go and drill down into each of these and understand that what is the problem with all of these services? Why am I getting those many detractors? So you can look at all of that. You have drill down option. You will be able to see the rating. Additionally, you will also be able to see the responses. What were the responses? Q&A, right, for these. So you have that level of granularity. Yeah. So this is this is the Q&A for that, and you can easily understand. You can select multiple requests and then share and schedule a report. So that's pretty much it really for this release. But there are a lot of functionalities that are working behind. So we recommend you to just go and try it out, enable the SLM engine and provide your feedback. So looking forward to it. Now I'll go
Deepak,
back.
there is one question. Where do the agent, I mean the support staff, see the targets? I guess it's in
Service catalog request reports at the
yeah,
moment
that's
for smart IT and share ticket console. I mentioned it's in the future roadmap. So we are working with those products to include that available and made it
yeah.
available there. At the moment, only DWP catalog request reports.
There is another one which I don't fully understand. Maybe we open up the mic for that, but do you want to do that?
I'll just, Shreya, can you hear us? I think it must be your question that you asked in the chat. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Okay, so there was an option in DWPC under reports. I think it's the collaborator that's been showed now in DWPC.
Yeah, we have this functionality quite from a long time, the shared collaboration functionality. So it was
No,
just shared with multiple people.
yeah, it was visible in the DWPC report, so that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, you have that information, correct, in the DWPC reports as well, yes, who it is shared with.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question. Okay, I've just started to unmute people, but very quickly while I do that, if anyone's got final questions or you've got a few more minutes extra to stay, just a reminder that those are based in the US. We do have the New York Roadshow coming up next week. On the 5th, you're invited to user groups. I know Deepak and Kaf's management are going to be there running some of those sessions. So obviously we love doing this digitally because it means we can get more people on calls. But if you are around and in the area, the final sessions that we've got is New York on the 6th. We've got Madrid, Frankfurt, and then the final one is in the end of November with Mexico. So we'd love to see some of you directly, and there'll be customer success there and product team. The other part is, and I work very closely with our marketing department and also product management. We love to hear your feedback. Most of our product managers are often being pulled onto Forrester or Gartner studies. So we would love to get your feedback on our products. If you do get a moment, there's the QR code that you can scan here. Otherwise, we will be sharing the slides out. We'd love to get your feedback. And if you are successful, it will get posted live and you'll get a token gesture from Gartner themselves. And I think that's probably the main ones to mention, and also this GPT one. The reason I've put this in here, I don't know if some of you have come to some of our workshops. It's really important when we talk about Agentic AI and what we're doing with our technology. I decided to pop this in as well, just to let you know we've got a lot of workshops going on. In fact, there's 16 of them right up until the end of January. So if you haven't already signed up, again, I'll share this out. The calendar, the upcoming workshops, they look like webinars, but they're 90 minutes. Do come and attend those because we will help you with installing your agents as well.